Legacy means, what does legacy mean? I met a kid, he was like 12 years old, and I was like, who's your favorite wrestler of all time? And he said, Dan Gable. And I thought, this kid's 12 years old, he's never even seen Dan Gable wrestle. People don't even know you, they've never seen you compete, but through whispers and stories, you get passed down through generations. I want 20 years from now, 50 years from now, 100 years, however far this sport remains, I'd like to be considered one of the best to ever do it. When it's all said and done, you've wrestled for the last time, you hang your shoes up or leave them out in the center of the mat, and you have a press conference and retire and step away. And they make a collage of your accomplishments and a highlight video of all your matches and your best takedowns and your coolest moments. That's legacy.
Oh, and he gets to his double, he's gonna run through it!
Burroughs back in, double leg, beautiful!
There it is! Speaking of doubles, Jordan takes him to the edge!
Drives right through it. Another takedown for Burroughs, making 8-1.
On another shot, double leg, he picks him up,
Wow.
lifts him off the ground, plants him on the mat. Oh, and he's gonna take it! Jordan Burroughs wins! What a match! What a match!
It is truly a privilege and an honor to have Jordan Burroughs here with us this evening. As you know, Jordan is a internationally known figure. He's a gold medal award winner, Olympic champion, 4-time world champion, and he is the #1 wrestler in the world. At this time, with his busy schedule, I would like to introduce to everyone Mr. Jordan Burroughs.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. What's up? Man, I don't know if this mic's on. I'm just gonna talk, if you don't mind, Kurt. Is that okay? Awesome. I'll just yell my best. I'm actually gonna step out here in front of the podium. I don't really like standing behind podiums and being stationary. So thank you guys for having me first and foremost. I just got back from Iowa City on Monday afternoon. I had an opportunity to wrestle to make my second Olympic team in Iowa City, and I qualified for the Olympic Games this summer in Rio. Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. So thank you. I appreciate it greatly. I've still got some work to do, a lot of training to be had this summer to replicate my success from 2012. And so I grew up in Sicklerville, New Jersey. I was actually born in 1988, so I'm 27 years old now. I graduated from high school in 2006. So it's been a while since I graced these hallways, but this was the gym that I actually competed in. I remember wrestling right here.
That's what's up, bro.
There you go.
All right, baby.
Thank you, boy.
I'll see you in
Hey,
real. Are you going to beat the streets?
I'll be there.
You be there?
May
Yeah, that's
19th. Good to see you, boys. Thank you for coming out.
Great.
Appreciate it. Hey, nice to meet you, champ. A lot of people I saw today I hadn't seen in years, a lot of former teachers and people who follow me online. It's always funny because no one really knows me personally from this area unless they knew me when I was here. I'm a completely different person, but a lot still the same. Baconator, I remember you now. I remember because I told you, I was like, if you don't eat any more Baconators, you might be a state champ.
Yep.
And you still been eating them.
Nah.
You haven't?
I gave them up.
Oh, you're the man. That's what I like to see. It's awesome to be able to come here, sign autographs, take pictures, shake hands, and just engage with people who are truly my fans. It's easy to be like, okay, buy my shoes, but I'll never meet you. You know, and so when you get an opportunity to do things like this and actually engage with the people who are buying your products and supporting you, it's very important. It's wild to think of where you guys started, dude.
Yeah.
You guys started, I went back actually a couple weeks ago, and I watched the first ever interview I did with Flo. It was at the University of Nebraska, actually, in our indoor track, and it was with me and Craig Brester. I think the title was like Odd Teammates. You remember that video? And it said me, I'm like from an...
red cap?
I had a red Nebraska cap and I had like a black shirt.
Yeah.
And Brester was in the video as well, and so we were kind of just describing our backgrounds, how we come from complete opposite spectrums of the country and different cultures, and still ended up being teammates. And I was telling Martin this a couple weeks ago at NCAAs, but someone commented on the video because one of the questions in the video was, who do you think was your toughest opponent of that year? My freshman year, I actually wrestled Brent Metcalf.
And he's going to score again. Metcalf, 6-3. Make it 8-3.
Brent Metcalf is a freak of nature. At that time period, he was the scariest man on Resolite. He was mean. Like, he was a jerk to wrestle. Like, he didn't care about you. If you backed out of bounds, he'd push down on your head. He'd pull your singlet. He'd pull your shoestrings. He'd punish you in every way possible. He could wrestle for days. He never got tired. I don't know if I've ever wrestled someone who hasn't ever got tired. You had to battle for 7 minutes straight, and I wasn't prepared to do that. Like, I didn't want to wrestle the best guys. I wasn't up for the battle. I was up for the winning. I wasn't up for the battle. Many men won a wrestling match. Very few men won a war. He wanted a war every single time. I hadn't learned yet what was necessary to be at the highest level. So this is my parents' collection here. Like, they're huge wrestling fans. It's funny because my dad didn't even know how to use a computer when I left for college, and now, like, he's on Flow watching all my videos, Matt.com, Intermat. Now that TiVo's around, he's recording all of my matches, and so, like, this is mostly all my trophies from my college career and a couple from my international career as well. So I've won 21 international tournaments since graduating from college in 2011. This was actually my first world championship medal here from Istanbul, Turkey, 2011. The funniest part about this medal is it actually says third place on the back. So this is the gold medal, and look at that, 74 kg.
When did you realize that?
When I got home, everyone was like, dude, let's see the medal. And so I showed them. They're like, what is this? I'm like, either it's priceless or worthless. One of the two. My parents keep a big collection here. A lot of things that I did when I was a young man. I grew up in Sicklerville, New Jersey. I really come from a working class family. My parents are still working, still haven't retired. My dad's 57, I believe my mom's 47. My parents actually still live in the same house that they moved into when I was 9 years old.
When Jordan was growing up, he was like a practical joker. He liked to play a lot. He tried to be the funny man. He always had to be the center of attention wherever he went.
He was the little tiny boy, so he had the Napoleon complex. When they played the game, he always wanted to win. He's very competitive, so.
I started wrestling when I was 5 or 6. I can't really remember the exact time period, but I remember vividly bringing home a flyer from school.
He was like, hey, Mom, can I wrestle? My husband and I said, absolutely. You know, whatever Jordan wanted to do, Jordan could do.
It was at that moment we realized that it was a pretty cool sport. There were a ton of kids that were my size, my age. Some were even smaller and younger than I was, and I was the youngest of 4. I was the runt in our family. And wrestling was one of the few sports you didn't have to be big in to excel. So this is my mom's job here. We're at Labor's District Council building on Broad Street in Philadelphia. So my mom's been working at the same job since she was 18. And she's 47 now. So 29 years, she's been working at this spot. We're gonna surprise her.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Bubs, let me take this. Let me take that, okay?
I'm so sorry. Hello, guys. I'm like, how you guys? You wasn't supposed
Can we go
to
see
hear me.
Grammy?
I know, we heard you.
I know, we got you on camera.
After they were out in the
We're turning you
lobby.
into customer service.
Hi, Tink.
So my parents were working class, and they never had the ability to control their own destiny. And so as much as I love my parents, every day they don't get a chance to do what they love. They don't get an opportunity to pursue their dreams based upon some of the decisions they made as young men and women. And not that they were bad decisions, but they just weren't in an environment that thrived off of encouragement to be your own boss. And that's what really kind of motivated me, was watching my parents get up to work every day. I always wanted more. I never wanted to be told what to do by anyone. And that's why I love wrestling. I love the sport because you can't tell me what to do. It took a while for me to develop passion for wrestling. For a long time, I just used it as an outlet to have fun. I used to love to go to practice to play games. Like, I wanted to go on the trips to foreign events just so I could jump on the beds in the hotel rooms and eat pizza. I didn't want to wrestle the tough guys who I knew were really good and could possibly beat me up. I'd say between like my sophomore year and junior year of high school was when I really started to be more engaged with the sport and involved, kind of seeing who the best guys in the state were. I was getting better. I started to improve. I was beating guys my junior year that I was losing to as a sophomore. And then I wrestled Frank Molinaro in the state finals my junior year. He was a sophomore at 125. I was a junior. He scored the first point of the match. I think we went into overtime at 1-1. We had both gotten escapes, but he chose down in the second, so he escaped first, and he partied on me. I lost. There's a picture of me like this, and you can see Frank in the background like this. And I remember I laid on the ground, I cried, and my coach came and picked me up. If he hadn't picked me up, I'd probably still be there crying right now. Full beard, fro, dreadlocks, still crying at the Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City. But he picked me up, and I was bummed. I didn't know what it took to get to the next level. I remember my high school coach sat me down, and he was like, "What do you want to do after high school?" And I don't know, I just gave him the most generic answer ever, like, wrestle in college. And he's like, "How? Like, you don't even, like, train at your hardest. Like, you don't give your all. Like, this is not a game. This is like, these dudes are serious. This is some serious competitors who have dedicated their life to this." That summer, July 1st, was the first time you could call a recruit legally through the NCAA. And so I remember after being a state finalist my junior year, I'm like, absolutely, this is New Jersey. There's one class, there's a lot of good people in the state. I lost Frank Molinaro, he's a stud. I've got to be recruited by someone, whether it's Rutgers or Rider or someone in the area wants me to be a part of their program. So everyone was setting up officials that fall. I had 5 officials of colleges and universities that wanted them to be a part of their program. I didn't get one call, not one request. No one wanted me. That's crazy. I went to a family reunion back when I was maybe 10 or 11 years old, down in Jacksonville, Florida, where my family is from, where at least my dad's side of the family. All the kids are out like playing, we're like playing Frisbee and throwing footballs around and just hanging out. And so my dad was just talking about his family, like, yeah, this is my wife, we've been married for X amount of years, these are the kids. And so he's like, oh, is that little boy over there, like, is he yours? He didn't know that I was behind him at the time. I remember like his specific wording, he was like, I think he's the one. Like, he's the one, he's got some good stuff. And like, at the time, I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, I don't even know what it means. And I didn't believe him. I hadn't done anything yet. Close. I was the only person who was out of the tournament already.
Is that when you hurt your finger?
He remembers
No, that was the week before.
He remembers
I
stuff
stunk,
kids
dude.
told him in first grade.
I wasn't very good. I was the only person on the entire team.
And y'all
in the
team
starting
stunk.
lineup. That was in street clothes because I lost the very first night of this year. I'll never forget. So I won the state tournament, and that was in March of my senior year, and I still wasn't getting recruited. And by this time, March of '06, my senior year, all college scholarship money had been like accounted for. Like no one had any money left. And if they did, like they probably were saving it for someone that was coming along in the future. We went to senior nationals. I had a bunch of tough guys in my weight class, and I'm like navigating my way through this tournament. Bang, another victory, boom, another victory. Beat another state champ. Another guy who got a scholarship. Made it to the finals. And so then people were like, this guy's not bad. Nebraska, they were interested, and I signed like a couple days later, but like there was no fanfare, no huge signing day. Like basically my mom was like, listen, sign this NLI, because I left it on my kitchen table for like a week straight, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't have a ton of offers, but I realized that this was a serious decision, and it was far from home. That's the poo-poo face right there. It's packed in there. Okay, can I have a pound? Pound it. You want to sit up here? We'll sit right here, so we can see out. All right, here you go. Orange juice. Look, do you see the bus? Big bus. Big bus. Being here in Philadelphia, this is like really how Lauren and I met. Well, not met, but got acquainted. She was watching, well, supposed to be watching her brother compete. He wrestled for American University. He's a 141 pounder. He qualified for the NCAAs my senior year. They were here in Philly in 2011.
There were a few University of Buffalo wrestlers that were here, so I worked for the Buffalo News at the time, so I was writing a little write-up on that too. But they didn't do so great, so I was working for like the first round.
Then after the first round,
Yeah.
you saw something that caught your eye.
I saw Jordan and I thought he was cute. So I added him on Facebook. I had a wrestling hat on in my profile picture. So he knew I was into wrestling. I thought from the get-go that he was super outgoing. He was really personable and just a goofball. He's a lot of fun to be around. He wasn't shy, and I had dated people in the past who were kind of reserved, and he was, meeting my family members and having full conversations with everybody around me. So that was cool for me. That was probably my favorite part about him at first.
I love my wife, man. I could have never imagined that I'd be a happily married husband and father. Like in 2012, this is not on my plan, but I'm happy. I'm really happy with what I have, and I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it. You realize that these are the people who are behind you.
I think she was a great influence in his life, even because her family is a wrestling family. Her father was a coach, so she understands,
Big jump, big jump. 1, 2, 3, jump.
Jordan as a father, he's a great father.
Jordan has always been super young at heart, but I think Beacon has kind of taught him to look at the future. He's still immature and goofy with him all the time.
Whoa, you knocked him off the track. Beacon is absolutely crazy, dude. I don't know where he comes from. That's why I love him. You dream about this well-mannered, obedient kid, but that'd be boring.
He's on social media now. Jordan created an Instagram page for him, so everybody kind of sees him, and we'll be out at events and people want to take pictures with him.
He brings a lot of joy to the people that he meets, and he's a ham, a showman. I'm still learning every day, like who he's gonna become. Right now, he just loves to watch cars and eat pretzels. Because your boy seasoned them. We are making, we got a waffle maker. We're gonna make some waffles, bacon, smoothie.
Very please, okay. Go ahead.
Are you gonna grab one or just mess with him?
He wants to grab a good one. Let him take his pick.
He touched every berry in there. He like, this one? No. This
Okay,
one?
there you
No,
go.
This one?
You found the perfect berry.
Gotta be ready to score. Those opportunities don't open up for very long. Hit. Come on, Grayson, too slow. Hit. Good, good, good. Always dangerous, always dangerous. Hit. Hit.
Just because you visualize yourself getting 4 tech falls in the Olympic Games doesn't mean they're gonna happen. All you can do is be prepared, be ready for a fight, be willing to battle, no matter what is thrown your way. That's why wrestling is such a hard sport. Everyone's prepared physically. Very few are not only prepared mentally, but willing to give 100% effort once they arrive. It's hard to believe when you start the match down 4-0 and you gotta come back and win. That's when the best separate themselves from the rest of the pack. But still hard. Still hard.
The hardest thing for me was going from being the best guy on my high school team to just another guy in this wrestling room. Like, as close as Manning and I are now, there was a point where I was just another guy to him.
We knew he wasn't a finished product, obviously, no one is, but we knew, you know, he really needed to really take that year and mature.
It was like sink or swim, you know, that we were just like fresh meat for all the guys who already had been here. They just beat the crap out of us every single day. I had so many distractions off the mat that I couldn't really get good as a freshman. First semester as a freshman, I had like a 1.7 GPA because I was like sleeping through classes and I wasn't turning in papers on time. And that first wrestle off, there's a kid, actually I'm good friends with, his name's Casey Goobles. He was from Randolph, Nebraska. He beat me like 13-6, and he was a walk-on. So here I am, I'm on a full scholarship. I'm a hot shot from Jersey, East Coaster. This guy's a walk-on, 2-time Nebraska state champ. No scholarship money, pounds me. We got another guy on our team named Dominic Moyer. He was actually a senior at the time. Beats me up 5-0. I couldn't even score a point. I couldn't even get out from bottom on him. I can't even beat my own teammates. Like, how am I gonna beat the country? I can't even beat my own teammates. After Christmas, I came back, like the following day after Christmas, and I remember I saw Coach Greenfield, and he's like, listen, we've been considering moving you into the starting lineup, or at least giving you an opportunity to do so. My first match out, boom, got beat. National duels roll around, wrestling Hofstra in a duel. Got beat again, boom. Now he's like, listen, I'm not putting you back into the lineup until you show me that you're ready to wrestle.
I remember my assistant at the time said, man, we might have made a mistake with Jordan Burroughs, you know?
The following match, we were wrestling University of Michigan. They had Josh Trella at 149. He was a stud. Rob Sanders wrestled him to like a 1-point match. I think he lost like 8-7. And before that match, I saw Rob warming up. And so I'm thinking I'm the guy. I see Rob warming up, and I'm there too. I'm warming up. I'm like, well, what the heck? Who's wrestling? And so Manning didn't tell me if I was wrestling or not. And so when I saw Rob, I considered that him wrestling. And so I kind of just like sat down.
We had a short turnaround. Our guys were over warming up. Jordan was kind of sitting over on the side. And I just went over to Jordan and told him, hey, let's talk here a little bit.
Manning came and he pulled me aside. He's like, listen, I wanted to do this to see if you were really ready to wrestle and if you were gonna step up to the challenge of seeing Rob training and warming up. Basically, you did what I thought you were gonna do, and you're obviously not ready for the position that we put you in.
You came to Nebraska, you wanted to be a national champion. You told me that. And so now this is part of the learning phase, and you don't like losing. And now you want to wrestle, but you're sitting over here and the other guy's warming up hard, getting ready, and you're sitting over here telling me you want to wrestle. He's showing me he wants to wrestle.
Like, I remember at that moment, I was like, dang, I ain't there yet. But I tasted it. I saw the best guys, what they were doing, how they approached the sport, how they were maneuvering. And like, I wanted in.
Yeah, crazy.
This is the good life, huh?
We're at the NYC Wrestling Room here, down in the basement, New York City, 180 Central Park South, getting prepared for weigh-ins today. So we got weigh-ins at noon. I got a couple of pounds to get off before then. All right, stand still. 11 kilos. 11 kilos, nice job. Me and Mark Hall gonna get a drill in this morning, feeling good, just excited about tomorrow, and should be another great event.
Nice.
Beat the Streets, New York City, huge organization that helps impoverished kids in the city get off the streets and into wrestling rooms and give them big opportunities to do things that they never thought were imaginable. And so we're here, we're the entertainment for the evening. We've got some of the best wrestlers in the country putting on a show against the Iranian national team, so it should be good stuff. One more, big smile, cheese.
2, 3.
One more.
Okay, last one, big smile.
It's tough to stay on top. It's hard to continuously evolve and innovate what you've done already. It takes a tremendous amount of mental fortitude, patience, and consistency, and perseverance, and discipline. I look at all these young guys and I'm like, wow. There are gonna be a lot of people coming behind me. Kyle Snyder won his first at 19. I didn't win my first till 23. If that's any indication, he's gonna be doing some pretty elite stuff here in the next few years. And so I gotta put myself in a position where not only do I pass the guys that did it before me, but I put it out of reach for the guys coming behind me. I wanna make sure that they have something to pursue and chase, but also something that I feel stands strong. My footprint in history.
That's good, I like that. Here, you miss reach. I'm enjoying this time while me and Mark can still be friends. Good friends. No, but like we've established a relationship so far before we're competitors that I think it would just be natural for us at some point. I know you're gonna be there somewhere. You know what I mean?
Coming into my sophomore year, I came out firing right away. I finished third in Vegas, beat Lance Palmer and Josh Torella, who was the returning NCAA runner-up. Like, I just was improving. My double was getting better. I was learning how to position myself to hand fight, but I was still mentally not there yet. I had 6 losses that year. All 6 of those losses were to top 5 guys. It's excusable to lose to those guys, but for me, it was because I was scared of them. I'm okay with that. I just like to be an All-American. Maybe if I fall properly in the bracket, I could sneak in there and then just get my butt kicked in the finals, but at least I'm an NCAA runner-up. I didn't want to beat the best guys. I didn't want to compete with the best guys. I was hoping for a guy to move up in a dual meet, or I was hoping that he'd get beat by another guy or upset in the tournament and rearrange the placements in the brackets and I could wrestle someone easier. It was a good transition for me. After I beat Torella for 3rd place my sophomore year, my dad, we had TiVo at the time, and we had a DVR, and so he'd always record all of my wrestling events. Even though he was there to watch me in St. Louis, like, he recorded it. Manny happened to do an interview. They're like, man, that Jordan Burroughs kid is extremely tough. We had finished 4th as a team. He's like, you have a great team this year. Like, where do you think Burroughs sits in your team as a leader? He's like, man, Burroughs is an absolute warrior. Like, he's gonna be a national champion. And I'm like, I'm gonna be a national champ. I got fired up about that. I got pumped. And like from that day, like I took a newfound leadership role.
He thought of himself different, not in a prideful way, more in a, hey, I put in a lot of work. I've really committed myself to the weight room.
And I think at that time period, we were kind of making a transition in our lineup where we didn't have a solid 57-pounder. And so the option was open. Wrestled there at 49 for wrestle-offs, and then about a week later, they came up to me and called me like, hey, listen, Burroughs, we want you to come by the office. We want to talk to you briefly. Opened up their laptop, slid it over. The mat.com rankings, 1 through 10 at 157. We looked at the rankings 1 through 4, and they're like, Jordan Lean, can you beat him? Gregory Gillespie, can you beat him? You know, Dustin Slater, can you beat this dude? Mike Chandler, can you beat these guys?
I just want him to realize, hey, there's a lot of tough guys at 157. And here's the challenges. And he said, hey, I want to do it.
I was confident I could beat those dudes, and I was hungry. Like, not for victories, but for food. There are numerous reasons I want to go up to 57. One of the reasons was they knew I couldn't beat Brent Metcalf. So I moved up away from Brent Metcalf essentially into a weight class with 3 national champions. That's when I started getting tough. I was good on bottom, like I was strong. I didn't cut any weight. I beat Jordan Lean in the finals of Vegas. Was ranked #1 in the country for the first time. Went home undefeated that summer. Wrestled well, beat everyone in the weight. And so I'm going into the NCAA tournament undefeated. And there's another guy undefeated who I hadn't beaten. It was Mike Poeta. Mike Poeta was like only like 14-0. He only wrestled like a quarter of the season because I think he was going through some injuries. But I didn't know what to expect from him because I knew he was a great athlete as well.
157-pound NCAA finals. We're going to see Jordan Burroughs from Nebraska, Mike Poeta from Illinois, and a couple of undefeated wrestlers taking to the mat. Burroughs in on the shot, looking for a takedown late. Burroughs is going to secure it. 2 takedown, Jordan Burroughs. 1 second to go in the first, and that is huge. And a late takedown, go behind. Jordan Burroughs is going to tack 2 more on. Jordan Burroughs, 2009, 157-pound NCAA champion.
I regretted that match against Poeta for a long time. I still do. I knew I could score more. I could beat him by more points. I could engage, I could create a flurry and shoot out with him and make an entertaining matchup and come out as the victor and create something memorable, but I didn't want to. So I just wanted to be a national champ. After wrestling that match, after I got drug tested and got the awards and went back to my hotel room, my girlfriend at the time, she was like, man, I wish you would have wrestled your hardest that match. And I was like, me too. It's never about winning. It's about performing. Like, if you can perform, you'll win. That's it. If I bring my A game, I don't think there's anybody in the world that can beat me in a wrestling match.
All right, we're going to take second subway experience. F to York Street.
You gonna get us there?
So, we're here. Love, we're right here. And we're going to take the F train over here to York and then walk over High Street and then we'll be in Dumbo.
Jordan kept saying, I want to go to Brooklyn. I want to go to Brooklyn. And I'm like, all right, but Brooklyn's not like, I want to go out to dinner. Like, where do you want to go in Brooklyn?
Yeah, I think we arrived. We're in Brooklyn now officially, right, love? Hey, love.
Is this Brooklyn?
Are we in Brooklyn now?
We're in Brooklyn. This is where you wanted to be.
He's from Nebraska.
We're from Nebraska, so excuse us.
He thought Brooklyn was just like a little area, but he just gets excited about going places, so especially new places. We travel so much, so we love to explore, and he heard, someone must have said like Brooklyn was cool, so he wanted to go to Brooklyn.
That'd be cool. Do you mind taking our photo? Thank you so much.
All right, champ.
1, 2.
Bring home the gold for us again.
I'll do my best. Thank you.
I've just started gaining a newfound perspective by slowing the pace of every event and enjoying every piece of my life. I love the process now. When I was a young man, I just wanted to wrestle in the big stuff that were important that people were watching, but now you just enjoy the beauty of the sport. You enjoy grinding with your teammates and pushing yourself to the brink of death so you can be in the best shape of your life.
Beak, did you go say hi to Coach? Go give him a big hug.
You enjoy your family being up in the stands to get an opportunity to watch you compete.
Cool.
My family is important at this moment in time. My training is important at this moment in time. You live and you win today, and the days will accumulate, and then once the Olympics arrive, they'll be here. But I don't want to pass all these little moments thinking that they're insignificant because there's something bigger waiting. Because the Olympics, they're going to come and go. They're going to come, they're going to wrestle 4 matches, and they're gone forever. 2009, so 09, 2010, I wasn't wrestling well. We went to Vegas. I'm wrestling a kid named Justin Gaethje from Northern Colorado. Getting on a single leg, get his leg up high. This guy goes to dive between my legs, and as he dives between my legs, I go to cover, and my chin comes down on his hip, and my jaw smashes shut, cracked 2 of my molars on the left side. I had to default out of the tournament and drive right to the dentist and get 2 root canals that same day. I went home, got prepared for South Dakota State, and we were leaving in like 2 days. So I remember we had a tough practice getting down to weight. Left the wrestling room, I looked down at my phone, and my best friend from high school, Vince Jones, he sent me a text message like, hey, I'm sorry to hear about your grandpa. So immediately I called my mom, like, Mom, what's going on? Vince just texted me and said, sorry to hear about your grandpa, like, what's happening? Grandpa passed away. Got a duel in 2 days. What do? Do I go and see my family? Or do I stay with my team? So I talked it over with Coach Manning. He's like, dude, you gotta go. It's a no-brainer. So I flew down to Jacksonville. I was with my family. We went to the funeral. It was an extremely sad event. And the following week, we had a duel against Central Michigan. I'll never forget, December 19th, 2009. I had my bags packed because this was the day after finals. Wrestling Steve Brown from Central Michigan, 157. We get into this crazy scramble. I'm laying down on the mat. I'm like, kind of moving my knee around. And I'm like, something's wrong. End up losing the match. I go down into the training room immediately after, and they're looking at my knee. And they're kind of giving me one of these and like pushing back and forth. And I asked the doc, I'm like, how is it? He's like, you're done. Like, no question, you're done. The rest of the season, boom. LCL and PCL gone. What is going on? 2 weeks ago, defaulted out of Vegas, 2 root canals. A couple days ago, I was in Jacksonville to see my grandpa die. Now, I'm here in the training room, laid on the table, returning NCAA champ, undefeated. Just took my first loss in about 1.5 years, and I'm out for the season. The coach calls me on my way to the airport, like, hey, Coach Manning here. We're already in the process of trying to get you a medical red shirt, but it is not looking promising right now because there's a rule called the 30% rule. And so you have to have wrestled less than 1/3 of your entire schedule for the season if you hope to qualify for a medical redshirt. But since you didn't redshirt your freshman year, you have a good chance, but you've already wrestled 8 matches this season. I don't know how many we have on the schedule. We got to kind of go over it with the staff here. At the end of the day, they came in and brought me into their office and they sat me down and they're like, all right, you want to hear something extremely crazy? You, for one, have qualified for your medical redshirt, but here's why. Let me tell you why. So your grandfather passed away a couple weeks before the duel where you hurt your knee, and I had to miss the duel against South Dakota State. And so that one duel that I missed against South Dakota State was the one match that put me under the 30% for the year. I qualified by one match, like one match. Got hurt the second match in Vegas, done. No red shirt. My grandpa would have died a week later, done. No red shirt. And so it's destiny.
All good?
Yeah, we're good.
Today's match day, so I'm excited, very excited about the opportunity today. Anytime I get a chance to wrestle, especially here in Times Square on the biggest stage in the world, it's super cool. I got a lot of family coming out. This Iranian's tough. I think he believes he can beat me, and so it's my job to show him that he can't. And so I'm excited about the opportunity to showcase my skills, get my hands on somebody besides the guys I've been wrestling with at Nebraska for the last couple of months. It'll be good stuff.
Yeah, it's not just bringing up. Yeah.
Want to wrestle first now? That was good for me. I'm ready to go first. I'm doing it.
No, I never liked wrestling first in college because there were some people who would come late and they wouldn't get a chance to watch me wrestle. So I wouldn't want to be first. I didn't want to be last. I wanted to be like 6th or 7th.
Right.
Like we're in the heat of the duel.
Right. Well, then people have to stay. They can't dictate me like wait. I don't have that luxury. I'm 97 pounder. I'm always
a national champ. 2-time national champ. So people are going to stay. They're going to stay no matter what.
For Jordan to get distracted can easily happen. He doesn't say no easy. He's going to try to always be accommodating, which he is. He's just a tremendous giver of himself.
For this day and age, for Jordan to make the most of his time competing athletically, he needs to do that stuff. He needs to have the sponsors. He needs to do photo shoots.
Thank you.
There's a time and a place for that, and it has to be strategically placed in and around his training. Training for competition is the #1 focus. His brand is the ability to consistently win at the highest level. He has to keep focus on that, and he does. But Manning keeps a very strong hold on knowing that that's what makes Jordan great.
$14 to go now. Jaden staying low. And Jaden's looking to score still late in the match. Jaden Cox. Jaden Cox. Flex. He's excited. What a monster.
His opponent was the 2011, 2013, 2015 World Champion. Meet the defensive 2012 Olympic gold medalist, representing the United States of America, Jordan Burroughs.
Payman Yaramati, no slouch out of Iran. He won't be the guy in Rio for the Iranian team, but he's ranked 12th in the world. You don't earn a ranking that high. On looks. Yeah. Burroughs in the blue. Yaramati in the red for Iran. And again, we mentioned it earlier, this is kind of where Jordan was born, at least on the international scene. Use your lap! Use your lap! Be able to execute a score here. Well, what's so fascinating about him is that, yeah, he's got these physical things that maybe not everybody's born with, but on top of that, his wrestling is so refined, it's so polished, and it continues to get better. And the re-attack by Jordan Burroughs. Second period, hand slap, we're underway. Do something. There's a single leg, and he brings it to the edge, right into our table here. There it is. Speaking of doubles, Jordan takes him to the edge. Can we go 4 there? We're gonna see 4-2. I thought it was 2 personally. Come on, go get the tap. I think he wants one more. Burroughs likes to go out with a bang. Could he hit a 4 to close this out? Nope, but he's gonna hit a 2. And he'll take 2 more, making 10-2. He did it, he's got towards himself. Thank you, Jordan Burroughs. So he'll take it by a score of 11-2. It was a 1-point match, and as we've seen him do so many times, 6-minute point scoring contest, that's all Jordan Burroughs.
Vader, I figured out.
Bye, Jeremy.
Sometimes you can't be tactical. You just got to wrestle as hard as you can. Good things happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. What are you referring to?
Just that past match.
No, you got to just do what you got to do.
We talked about it yesterday. You always want to look good and be graceful. Sometimes you just got to lower your head and shoot as hard as you can. 12 times. And hope you get 3 of them.
How bad you want that tap ball?
My 5th year senior year, I guess my 2nd senior year, 2010, 2011, I knew I was in a good place. Like I spent all summer training. I actually went back to the Olympic Training Center briefly with Manning because he was one of the coaches on the 2010 team.
The rumor was Andrew Howell's returning national champion at 165. Jordan Burroughs is going to get smoked, can't hold up, can't hand fight.
Manning gets back from Moscow, and he's got these DVDs. On like this little DVD roll, he's got a stack of DVDs, and he's like, here, 74 kilos, I want you to watch this guy. This guy's name is Denis Sargush, he's a stud.
Sargush was two-time world champion. Everyone was talking about he's going to be the next Russian, icon.
Manning would always tell me that year, like, listen, you're 4 or 5 points better than Hal. You can beat Hal, like, you're gonna beat him, don't worry about it. We're just gonna train for the best. You see these videos and these DVDs of Denis Sargush? This is the guy I want you training for. I realized at that moment that I'd have to sharpen up my technique and get clean if I wanted to win. Snyder had just signed on as the head assistant my senior year, 2010, 2011. We picked him up from Arizona State, and he was great offensively for me.
Going into Jordan's senior year, he moved up to 165 pounds, and obviously there was some good guys there. Andrew Howe, Tyler Caldwell, and some other guys as well. I wasn't really too worried about whether there was guys there that we should be worried about. I mean, anytime to win an NCAA, it's going to be tough. But I trusted Jordan, and I trusted his training, and obviously his work ethic and his competitive spirit. I knew, anytime I would back him, always feel really confident when he steps on the mat.
Going into the NCAA tournament that year, I recognized, like, all right, this is your opportunity to cement your legacy. Like, I really wanted to be a champion. We're in Philadelphia, my family was there, I'm 20 miles from home. This is my last time at it.
Jordan Burroughs.
He dominated. I know that we were planning to wrestle Hal. Obviously Caldwell beat Hal.
Funny how wrestling sometimes happens, and you never know who you're going to face. You just got to prepare yourself.
I ended up winning the NCAA tournament. I wrestled Tyler Caldwell in the finals again. I beat him 11-3.
So perfect.
Immediately after that, that's when my freestyle career started. I had like 2 or 3 weeks between the NCAA tournament and the US Open. And I was entering the US Open, even though I was a 2-time NCAA champ, I had gotten either the 4th or 5th seat, and I was on the top side with Kirk White from Boise State. He was the assistant coach at Boise State at the time.
I knew Jordan was going to win. I mean, I knew Jordan gives his best. Jordan Burroughs is going to win the U.S. Open.
Him winning the U.S. Open 3 weeks out, 4 weeks out of college, it doesn't surprise me.
A couple coaches probably called me crazy that summer, saying that, hey, Jordan can win the Worlds. I felt that Jordan believed that he was going to be a world champion that summer when I was always in his ear, just telling him that after workouts.
Going to weigh-ins, I felt good, made weight, everything's good, and then the draws come out. But the cool thing about it was I drew the number 1. And still, I've never drawn the number 1 ever in any tournament I've ever wrestled in. All the international tournaments I've competed, I drew the number 1. So I'm like, yo, this is a sign. This is good stuff, all good stuff coming. We went and got some food, and I remember coming back to the hotel, and Sean Bunch came up to me, and he's like, did you see the brackets, man? And I'm like, no, I haven't seen them. Like, what's going on? And he's like, man, dude, you can have Sargush your second match. And I was like, phew, deflated. Like, would you rather wrestle a good guy right away, or would you rather wrestle a good guy in the finals? That's hard as a competitor. I was like, let me see what I got. Let me just go out there and fire on these guys, see what I got.
Burroughs gets to the leg, looking to cut it back. Jordan Burroughs gets a takedown, and some exposure there. He gets 2.
My first match, I wrestled well, felt good, warmed up good, went out, kicked this dude's butt. Now, here's Sargush.
Big match here, second round. That's Jordan Burroughs, of course, the United States in the red. He's taking on Denis Sargush. This will obviously be the toughest test of Burroughs' young international career here. Let's see what he can do. Jordan Burroughs to the leg. Sargush very tough to score on, to the leg. Sargush scrambling.
So this is a big matchup for me. This guy, he probably didn't know who I am. He's like, I'm gonna beat this American. This guy's nobody.
Burroughs still defending, still nothing, still nothing.
I remember they took the first period from him. I remember he tore Jordan's singlet.
Sargush ripped a hole in Burroughs' singlet.
I couldn't put the hammer down yet because I didn't know what he was capable of. I wanted to go out of my comfort zone to see if I could really light him up, but
I knew that he was sneaky. I'm like, man, I could have won that period. Like, I can win this match. I tried to wrestle tactically, and so I ended up winning the second period. A similar situation. He got in deep on a swing, but I was able to base out before he could score on me. So boom, I win.
Jordan Burroughs wins the second period.
When Jordan came over, I saw Sargouche really get tired.
So I turn around and I look in the corner, and I can look at him, and I can see that he was like worried.
You see him drinking water there from the towel, which I'm not positive that's illegal.
I think the stress involved escalated once he was so close to winning that second period, and I stole that one from him.
Just told Jordan to use his speed, fakes, and I told him, man, you got this guy.
He's gonna take Sargouche on a bounce. 1 point takedown, Jordan Burroughs.
I came out firing right away. This one reshot I hit on him. Usually guys came up to their feet, but in this particular one, he just kind of stayed down on his knees, and I just lowered my head and I ran into him as hard as I could.
Blew through him, looked like, you know, Ray Lewis or a 9-year-old.
Like for me, I'm like, just grab a part of his body and hold on.
5 seconds to go.
And he just like kind of crumbled. And at that point, I was like, it's over.
And there it is! Jordan Burroughs defeats world champion Dennis Sargouche in the second round of the World Championships.
I couldn't believe that I had beaten him. And the crowd was on notice now. They're like, oh my goodness, Sargouche just got beat. It's one of those moments where you're like, did you just see that? Sargouche just got beat. All the Americans were excited.
Team USA was celebrating. It was great.
And I was like so emotionally overwhelmed after that match, I almost passed out. And I remember going back into the tunnel immediately after, and I'm just like sitting there like this, and they're like massaging my forearms, rubbing my shoulders out, my legs are up, they're rubbing my quads and getting me ready for my next match. I thought I had won it. I didn't realize I still had 3 more matches. I probably shouldn't have won that one. I beat a 2-time returning world champ. I beat an Azerbaijani who was tough, and I beat a returning world silver medalist. But I knew that from that point, my life had changed, like in the direction and projection of my life, like because now I had arrived. Man, awesome turnout. Thank you guys. Personally, I want to spend time thanking you guys for your attendance tonight. It's really awesome. You guys could have been anywhere in the world, but you decided to be here with us tonight, and so I'm extremely thankful. I officially leave for Rio on August 2nd. I'll be there for a couple of weeks before I compete, so I compete on August 19th. So if you guys have iPads, calendars, notebooks, iPhones, remember August 19th. Mark that down. All right, you guys ready? This is awesome. This is so amazing. I'm, overwhelmed by the love that I felt tonight. It's super great. Like, you have expectations, and then there's actuality. And so it was a great turnout. People showed a ton of love. My family was here. The babies were here. A ton of Husker fans that I knew since day one. Like people who knew me when I was 16 and 13 now know me when I'm 129 and 2. It's been an amazing journey through that process. So it's fun to be here.
Jordan Burroughs, he might be the only guy that's actually able to do what he's able to do. He's got a really good chance of repeating and doing what he's done because he goes out with enthusiasm every time he wrestles. He's as good mentally as he is physically. In fact, he might be better mentally, and that's what makes the big difference.
What I've done since London has made me more memorable than what I did in London. I kept going. I kept putting it on the line. People ask me, can you replicate what you did in London in 2012? And I'm like, absolutely. I'm so much better now than I was then. My expectations have risen to a point of, I don't just want to win, I just want to dominate.
This is a legacy cementing opportunity for me. 2-time Olympic gold medalist, 3-time world champion. That's 5 total in 6 years. And I don't know if anyone else out there in the world at 74 kilos is doing what I'm doing. You put the work in, you prepare, you put your singlet straps up, you step on the line, you shake hands, and you try to win. It's gonna be a fun summer. It's gonna be a fun summer. 2 babies, 2 golds. It'll be a fun summer.
They want to get everybody before they move.
Okay.
Ready?
Guys ready?
Let's go. Did you get one? Take yours.
All good? Yeah, take a bunch.
He can look that way.
Look at the camera, baby.
They're pulling hairs.
James is better looking than mine.
Good?
I wasn't supposed to be here. And that's why I'm so excited about where I am today. I take pride in being able to beat these guys who have been bred to be successful. There's so many impactful events throughout the course of my journey that have made this possible. All I ever did was really work hard. You know, I wasn't the smartest, wasn't the most knowledgeable, wasn't the best athlete. Like, I got beat up, didn't get recruited, no one believed in me. Through all the difficulties and the doubt and the feeling of insignificance, no matter what, like, I always believed that my better days were still ahead. I realized what I wanted to be and who I wanted to be, and like, I just stayed the course no matter what. My dad would always tell me, like, if you wish for something, you be prepared to handle it once it arrives. No one would imagine that I'd be in this position, like, as not only the best wrestler of this era, but possibly in history of this country. People call me champ. It's not my name. My name's Jordan.